That's just a bit of a sudden stop there.
I think that's more sudden than usual, is it?
I think so. Yeah. Hi, guys.
Hi, guys. Oh, just reminded me. Killian has got an obsession with Bluey at the moment, and there's a scene where they're in a supermarket, and the shop lady says, "Hi, guys." And Killian wets himself laughing every time. So Tony and I have to continuously for the next 10 minutes say, "Hi, guys. Hi, guys." And he just laughs every time.
Kids are such weirdos. They find the strangest stuff funny.
I mean, I find it hilarious too. I don't know what that says about me. What am I sitting on? Bloody blanket. Anyway, good evening, everybody. Welcome along to another Blether. Great to have you all along. The chat is fired up already. I think a good way for us to get the guys talking to each other is be late, because then they just start talking amongst themselves. It seems to be a bit of a common occurrence. Good evening, Willis. That's Jura. You're in. John, good evening. John Massey, one of our sign-ups for our in-person Blether club. First night tomorrow night. We'll be talking about that a lot more later on tonight. Good evening, Dave. We've got TVR Jer. Is that Jeremy?
Well, because Jeremy's further down at the bottom.
Jeremy, what is it on? TVR Jer. Good evening to you. Let us know. This YouTube handle thing is frustrating.
Yeah.
We should just have names. It'd be a lot easier.
Can you not have a name? Does YouTube just give you a handle, or do you make it up?
I don't know.
No, I don't know either. I'm not down with the kids.
No, I still call it the YouTube. Melissa's he's on his homemade chili mead. That sounds pretty funky.
Wow.
I don't know if it's the chili part of it, but it sounds potent.
I had chili con carne for dinner, so similar.
All right. Well, I had spaghetti bolognese, which is kind of like a mild version of chili, isn't it?
I love how rock and roll our chat is.
Yeah. What did you have for tea? Just stick to drams, guys. You don't want to know what you had for supper. There was a radio show, wasn't there? Radio Scotland. Drive time. When you're driving home from work, everyone put in requests and then told the host what they're having for dinner. I used to love it.
Was it not? No, it was not Sarah Cox that did it, or on Radio 2. Did she not do something like? Was
it Radio 2? I thought it was Radio Scotland, because I used to listen to it when during COVID, when I was driving around doing deliveries. That's what I listened to.
Okay.
Unless they both did it. But yeah, you phone up and here's Muggy from Newborough is sticking into a fish supper, and she would like to hear, I know, Daniel Day-Lewis and his loves his farmer track or something. I don't know.
Do you mean Daniel O'Donnell and not the really famous actor Daniel Day-Lewis?
Yeah, that's him. I mean, they look similar, right?
Famously so. Well, have you ever seen them both in the same room together? They might just be the same guy.
Could be. I know Ali's well into his music tonight, hence the branding. My music knowledge does extend further than confusing Daniel O'Donnell and Daniel Day-Lewis. Okay. Good evening to Callum. Good evening to Dominic. Jeremy's in tonight. David Fagerson is obviously off the night shift. He's on the 16-year-old Glengeary from the Rare Find, not the Renaissance, the Rare Find one. Awesome. And meow to Sugar Kitty. Good evening to everybody. Kat, what's in your glass tonight?
So I was up at Loch Nagara today for a wee rake about for a wee while.
I saw a couple of videos you put up.
It was so pretty.
Yeah,
it was so pretty up there today. So I was waiting for Paul had a meeting with somebody, so I thought, oh well, I'll drive up because it's only an hour away. I thought, I'll just park up at Craig and go for a walk at Balmoral, but the gates were closed and there was loads of news people there. I was like, oh my gosh, somebody died. But Charles had put out that statement about his brother being a dirty little bugger. So I think quite a few folk had gone up to see if they can get some footage. So while I was waiting around at Lochnagar, I got that because it was on special offer, and I've never bought anything from the Flora and Fauna range. And we tried it, and it's just really nice. But I made the mistake of not opening it before we went live, so I'll work away with that while everyone else is chatting.
So about Alasdair, you'll be having your first dram.
Yeah, exactly. I know, but yeah, it's a good one. So they had quite a few nice things on the go up there. They've got a new distillery exclusive handful. It was really yum as well. It's just such a nice little visitor centre. I can always forget how lovely it is until I'm back in there again.
It's great, isn't it? It's nice. It's a good hands-on distillery as well. I think that's where the Diageo guys go to train.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
How to learn how to work a distillery. So, of course, everything's automated now. But
yeah,
when things go wrong, they still need the manual skills. So yeah, great wee place. Rick is on saying, "Good morning from San Francisco. Good morning, Rick."
Notoriously difficult place to say.
It is. I just got my initials round the wrong way there. San Francisco. It's the San Fran bit.
San Francisco. The more you're saying it, the weirder it's sounding. San Francisco. Yeah.
And that comes from Jake Ronson over in America. So good evening to you. Willis reminds you, Andrew, it's an alleged thing with Prince. We need to keep ourselves straight and proper.
Yes, just in case the royal family's watching the Blether, we get...
Exactly. Well, you never know. You don't. Yeah. So Rick is saying try it 3 times. Rick, I couldn't even say it once. So I'm not going to try it 3. So tonight I'm going to start off. I've got a blend theme going on tonight. I'm going to start off with one of our other blenders, the Woven guys with their homemade blended Scotch. So that is going to be
nice.
My God, that's maybe going to be. There we go. Nearly had a cat issue there.
I've actually got into my one really easily. I don't want to jinx it because we're trying to put it out next. My next problem after spilling half a bottle of teachers.
You don't want to get your pants wet again.
No, definitely not going down that route again.
No. Anyway, Rick, you're in Instagram mode on YouTube. If you click on the other link, there's 2 links I think you can click on. Click on the other one, and then you go into the full screen portrait landscape widescreen, I don't know, mode, and that'll be easier for you. Let's get our guest on. I did say we'd try and keep it brief. That was 10 minutes ago, so let us bring Ali in tonight. Good evening, Ali. Welcome.
Hey guys, how are you doing?
Hello.
Thank you for waiting patiently.
I was very tempted to say hi guys to get started.
Hey guys. Every time I hear it now, it's like I just giggle away to myself. Very. I found a heap of these. Do you have pin badges, Ali, for Turntable?
We don't. We get quite a lot of requests for them, I've got to say, but I've never been one to buy into all the pin badges. In all honesty, I'll stick with the caps and hoodies and things, but we've held off on the pin badges for now. For now, there'll be a campaign starting now. Under some pressure, though, for sure.
People love a pin badge. It's when you go to a festival and you just see people wearing them like a body armor, like they're just weighted down in pin badges. I love it.
It gets a little depressing though if somebody comes and asks for a pin badge and not a dram. And I think, come on, guys.
That's fair. That's true.
Yeah. Maybe the wrong festival if they're looking for a pin badge over a dram. So we were discussing before we came on live. It was about a year ago that you were on with us, on that memorable Blether we had with Louise hosting, co-hosting with us. How's the last year been for you? Big changes, or has it just been kind of consolidating where you are?
No, I'm trying to think. No real major changes that are around. I guess more along the lines of consolidating, but some exciting releases, some really good wins in new markets and stuff. And I don't know, I think across the industry just now, you hear a lot of the time it being rather difficult and challenging, especially compared to the post-COVID years. But like for our company, we're still quite small, streamlined, and we're really happy with how it's going. So despite some of the negative wider industry noise, we're pretty positive just now. So that's nice.
Excellent. Glad to hear it.
How about you guys? How are you guys going?
Kat, you're saying flat out, are you? Like a Duke's fit?
Flat out like a Duke's fit, yeah. So I was speaking to Lochnagar guys today, and they were just talking about how quiet January has been, but we've kind of been the opposite. We were looking at numbers the other day because I thought this feels like it's been busier. I mean, it's not summertime busy, but we're double the footfall from last year and double the spend. So we can't quite figure out whether it's an us issue, because we finally got like a social media presence, which we never used to have before. We kind of had a couple of big sponsorship things last year. We sponsored the tall ships and stuff. Or whether it's just an Aberdeenshire footfall thing, because apparently bookings at Aberdeen hotels have gone up this year. So I don't know, it'll be interesting to figure out whether it's a result of what we're doing. Lucky.
I mean, I think you guys are doing a fantastic job, and the what you've got at the centre now with the floor models. I know it's not new now. It's still relatively new. It's still relatively kind of novel, but people have got a word out. They're hearing about you. But also, I think maybe some of the farther out distilleries people have struggled to get to with the kind of early January weather. Glendronach's been a nightmare. In places like Lochnagar would probably been horrendous to get to. So people are in the area. I think where can we get to safely? And Glengarry's still quite east, so a little bit less.
Yeah. That's true.
I don't think it would work, but there's probably a number of factors.
The 7 days helps as well, because a lot of places are still, we're on winter timetables, so we're open later, but we're still open the 7 days, where a lot of people are closed kind of like the Sunday, Monday. So we're maybe picking up folk through that. But yeah, touch wood, all seems good for us so far.
Great to hear.
We've got Springer G says he's looking forward to the Living Souls tasting. That's at Juniper Wine Cafe tomorrow. Some new releases from them coming out tomorrow. Obviously, you'll know that you've got the same supplier.
So we do a lot of work with the guys at Living Souls. So Jamie from Living Souls also owns the Kilninian distribution in the UK. So they do the distribution for Living Souls and Turntable. But yeah, we're really close with the guys. So even on some of the parcels of stock, we're always exchanging and talking to each other. So they're really cool guys and switched on, putting out some great whiskey, great prices. And I think it's nice in a totally different way from us. We're both sort of following the route of going down independent bottling to a degree, but with a different spin on things and trying to do things very differently from what you see in general across independent bottlers. So I always kind of look at ourselves as more a blender than an independent bottler, but behind the scenes, the game is quite similar in terms of how you're sourcing casks from different companies, different distilleries, how you're nurturing those casks, what the re-rack program is. But the point of difference we would have at the turntable end is, rather than releasing them as single casks, we would do small batch blends to try and create something that we think is more interesting and exciting than any one of the individual components. So that's our way of looking at that world through a different lens. But I think the guys at Living Souls have done a really good job of finding their own way to do things a bit differently in a segment that can be quite busy in the industry. So really cool guys.
Look, I mean, it's such a busy market, the whiskey industry now. Like actually just setting out with this plan of like, do you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just start becoming an independent bottler. Let's start blending whiskey. Like, obviously, you've got a lot of years behind. Not a lot of years behind you. I'm not saying 10 years. Practically a dinosaur.
I took it well.
But like, yeah, 10 years in the industry behind you. So I guess you kind of got a good understanding. But like, where do you start with that? Like taking that sort of plunge and just thinking, let's do it. Like, or do you have to like kind of, did you start with an idea of like, I want to do blends and then make it work? Or were you looking for a gap in the market?
Probably a little bit of both. Like Gordon, my brother and I, we never worked together before. It's something we always wanted to do. And we both worked in the industry for a long time. And we tried to sort of figure out in some way what that would look like. And we were almost buying stock ahead of the decision as to what exactly we would want to evolve into. Through years working in the industry, you'll sort of learn that whiskey's a long game, and stock is absolutely key to anything that you're going to do, and making sure we get liquid into good quality casks early and give ourselves time to get to a quality point that we're happy with before we look at any direction that we're going to go in. But basically, when it came to independent bottling, we almost felt like it would be difficult for us to bring anything fresh and interesting and exciting to that world. We were quite late coming into it, and it never really gave Gordon and I the sort of get up and go passion, really go get it attitude. Whereas the idea of trying to just play a part in changing the way people think about blended whiskey, that really excited us. We both, for years and years, and probably you guys as well, I feel like most people who have worked in the industry for a long time would agree and feel that blends have been quite an undervalued, underappreciated category. And a lot of it's just down to knowledge and marketing and how we've positioned whiskey over the last 20 years and how we've educated the different markets. But it's I just feel like there was such an opportunity to really try and show people how exciting a category of blended whiskey could be. Just like when you strip it all the way back to the fundamentals, there's no reason, there's no sort of scientific reason a blend should be inferior to a single malt. And if anything, you could almost argue the opposite. So in a strange way, the idea of being at whiskey festivals in mature markets, and you get some of the sort of whiskey snobbery and somebody saying they only drink single malts, in a way, that's what actually gives me the passion and the excitement of just really wanting to change that mindset. And we've actually found like the market's been much more receptive and responsive to that than I expected. I thought, like, in terms of a newer generation, slightly younger, more flavor curious, we could capture quite quickly. But I thought with the whiskey connoisseurs, the slightly geekier side of the market, we might struggle with a little. But I think the transparency piece for us is just night and day for that market. If you can actually deliver the details as to what is going into the blend, it totally changes the mindset of that market segment, which is really cool.
That kind of openness and transparency, I think, is what, like, the guys who are sitting at home watching, that's what they love about it. That's why they join us in the Blether and any kind of podcast. They want to find out information. It's a completely different demographic to the guys who were, as you say, I only drink single malt. They don't want to know what anything else, and that's fine. They're happy in their own little bubble, and they're the kind of people, the more you try and poke, say, don't go and try the blend, try something, and they'll get more back up and they'll say,
honestly, if like when somebody's walking past the festival, if they like 9 times out of 10, if they're walking by, if I really push and say, like, give us a chance, let me explain, let me show you the label, talk to you about what we're doing, and taste the whiskey open-minded, like, sometimes that becomes actually the best conversation we have. And that if you can break that mindset, sometimes guys become real sort of ambassadors going forward. They really fall in love with it. But occasionally there's just somebody you can't shift, and it ruins my day.
Yeah, it's like challenge fail. Do you ever get the sense that they're like annoyed at themselves for liking something that you've given them?
Usually if they come around to it, it's like a sort of enjoyment of going through the journey, if you know what I mean. Like they really enjoy actually just that feeling of learning, that feeling of changing the mindset. I think usually it's a good experience.
I've seen that firsthand. I was next to Woven at a festival. I think it must have been a national festival in Aberdeen, maybe. Nice. And I can't remember the lady's name that was behind the table. She was lovely. But I saw that challenge she had, like people stopping, kind of looking over. Oh, I don't know you guys. What distillery are you? Oh no, we're not a distillery. We're blends. And then, oh no, I don't do blends. And just walking away. And I could see her frustration of just let me tell you just quickly. But yeah, she also won over a lot of people as well with like a sort of discussion, and just get them to try it. Just give it a
For
go.
sure. Like, I mean, I've probably found, especially if we're doing tastings and master classes and things, like even compared to some of the distilleries I worked for previously, which were brilliant, like amazing whiskies, like the sort of reception and the bottle sales and things on the night of a tasting could be just as high, if not higher. But it, like, we're still at the stage where we really need the opportunity to let people taste and tell them what we're doing, and really we've still got work to do on the brand awareness piece, and just keep getting the message out there for sure.
I think the transparency will definitely help, though. I love looking through your website earlier and just seeing the breakdown. And it's like, it's not classic kind of like, oh yeah, like Kalila, loads of Kalila. It's like things like Knockdo and like the distillery I can never say the name of that's got too many consonants in it. Once I start, I just can't stop in the middle. It's just but like really unusual whiskies in there. So for a geek, like seeing those percentages broken down and like trying to figure out like, you know, how it works and like what you like about it, that's really cool.
Yeah, for sure. There's almost a few different sides to the stock as we're trying to manage that as well. And that's like because we do have a core range, you're looking for some continuity, consistency, which is important. So like trying to get into sort of longer term agreements with suppliers and things make sense. And obviously in the first few years that we were trying to acquire casks and acquire stock, you were buying slightly older. You're buying anything between sort of 7-8 years old and 20 to 30 years old. But especially on the malt side, as time passes and you're planning more and more towards the future, like you almost want to be buying younger and younger, sort of moving towards new fillings as far as possible on that side. So we have full control over the wood management for the whole life cycle, and you can just plan further into the future. But like for most of our whiskies, the malts going in would be sort of 10 to 15 years old. So obviously we couldn't get to that position overnight. Like that takes time to get there. So when we were first purchasing, the age would be a little higher, and if anything, not always, is generally coming down. But then there's the other side of things on the limited editions and stuff, where we're just always looking for quality versus price, like value, like what's really good liquid at the right price that we can get in front of customers and show how exciting it is. So like, I mean, typically there's not much in the way of Macallan and Highland Park and things when the price of casks is just so high for our purposes of small batch blending. It doesn't quite stack up to what the price would be delivered on the shelf. It doesn't quite work that way. But as you're saying, in terms of maybe some of the lesser known distilleries, like some of the quality is brilliant as well. Obviously, you've got the Diageo distilleries, Culleala, Linkwood and things, but then Knockdo, Tamdo, Balmenach, lots of these whiskies are just brilliant, and people will have seen them from time to time, but not as regularly. So it's great to work with that.
Are these kind of guys a little bit more accessible because they don't have that kind of star shelf appeal, or whereas maybe an independent bottler bottling a single cask wants a little bit of that know-how about the distillery so that the customers know it, whereas you can pick up some of these guys.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it really varies. It really varies across the brands and the distilleries. So I mean, typically Islay, peated Islay named single malts, like during the pandemic, certainly it was almost hard to find, let alone what the price would be. It was just not terribly available, which is changing a bit now. But the Culleala is great quality. We love working with Culleala. But if you go into the worlds of Ardbeg and Laphroaig, we can do it and you can make it work. But the price point of what we're releasing and things becomes quite different at that segment. And as I said, it's the same even if you step away from Islay, if you go into the world of Dalmore and Macallan and things, where there's different areas around the world where these have become real sort of collectors' whiskies, and the prices have soared over years. Then it's not just the prices of bottles that have soared, the prices of casks have soared as well. So as I say, it just depends what we're looking for at any given time. But the price, quality, like the quality of liquid, quality, and what we can put that on the shelf and what price point we can hit is of course important on that as well.
What? I was going to say it's a bigger question. So I kind of want to, what is the process of you making a blend? So you like get a cask and be like, do you know what, this is banging, I think this would go really well with like, this is a backbone, a little bit of this, or like you've got like some sort of mad big pan that you're just kind of like pouring whiskey into and like like churning up, like what?
Yeah,
that's how
I guess a little witch's cauldron.
Again, I guess it kind of falls into two different areas, and that the core range, obviously we'd be looking for some consistency from batch to batch, and that it won't be the same level of consistency you would find with like Johnnie Walker, Chivas Regal, Ballantine's, where they own a huge number of distilleries. The batch sizes are enormous, and like the consistency they can achieve is really, really impressive. Whereas for us, I would say like consistency of a batch of Bittersweet Symphony compared to the next batch is definitely important, but the most important is the quality of each batch, and like making the best version of that whiskey we can with the cask available to us at that time. So I'd almost say our core range when it comes to consistency is probably more similar to a single malt than a blended whiskey. Whereas like if you think of single malt distilleries that I would know really well that I've worked for, if it was Glenallachie or Benriach, for example, if you tried, even if it's a batch of standard 12 years old, if you tried it 2017 versus 2021, you probably know it's the same distillery, very similar style, but it's not identical. It's not exactly the same. Whereas I would say like a Chivas Regal or Johnnie Walker, you'd really, really struggle to tell batches apart. They are impressively consistent. So I would say we're more similar to the single malt level of consistency on that side when it comes to the core range. But the limited editions, like there can be different ways of working on them from a blending perspective. So usually we kind of have an end flavor style in mind of what direction we're heading in. And I guess the first part of that would kind of come down to experience as to just having worked in the industry, what flavor profile do you expect from which distillery? What cask has it been matured in? Has it been re-racked? How long has it been re-racked? So we own about 1,300 casks today. So when we're creating a new batch of limited edition, we would typically go through our stock portfolio and maybe sample about 50 casks, working within a style or direction that we're thinking of heading towards, and then sort of sample individually, narrow down to about 20, and then start working on different combinations. And then it's a bit of trial and error on that side as well. But like once so that's all kind of sample blending. And once we get to the final sort of blend breakdown of what we're going for, we would vat cast together and leave to. So we would reduce the strength, so we'd bring the strength down to just slightly above the bottling strength, and then leave to marry, go back to cask and marry for about 3 months before final bottling. So that bit takes a little longer, but I think that the marrying period is quite important in what we do.
1,300 casks. That
take or give.
Give or take. So like Jeremy's commented there, that's amazing how many casks you have. How many did you start with when you set up and thought this is something? What did you start?
I mean, we started buying in 2019, and like it was just kind of an ongoing process from then. And that we sort of said to each other that the earliest we would start something is 2023, and that we knew we wanted that sort of 3 to 4 year period to get a lot of the stock re-ragged, get into our own good quality wood that we're sourcing from the States or bodegas in Spain or wineries around Europe, and just get to a quality point that we're really happy with before we started thinking about blending and bottling. And from there, it's just like been an ongoing process. So, I mean, I don't know, the first parcel of casks we bought were maybe about 30, I guess. Yeah. But it's that piece is just the stock management is just always happening, like that's always ongoing. But we're not at this point. We're not really looking to increase our holding particularly. I think that sitting like we would replace each time we bottle batches, but sitting around the 1,300 to 1,500 casks just now is like quite suitable for the size of the business that we are at this point. So I think holding around that line is sensible, probably for 2026 anyway.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Oh gosh.
When
there you go. I'm going to go turn my heating off.
When obviously we've talking a little bit about indie bottlers and a little bit of blending. That when you're looking for casks, you say you're maybe not looking for them right now, but when you are looking, is it a different whiskey cask that you're looking for as a blender than somebody, say, Jamie at Living Souls or somebody is looking for to release a single cask? Is there?
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. Like we wouldn't be. I mean, at this point, with like us really wanting to keep things very accessible on the shelf and just good quality, good price, and get people opening bottles and things, I would say like we're not necessarily rushing into the market for named 30-year-old single malts. Like in that it would just tie up too much of our cash flow on one cask. It's just it is too much of a punt on one cask that it doesn't make too much sense for us at this time. So there would be differences, but I mean, like one of the points that we've kind of noticed quite a lot is that from most of the major players, the companies who own multiple distilleries, like the quality of spirit that they're distilling is usually really, really good, like really high. But the quality of cask that they are maturing in can vary. Like it depends on the strategy and the purpose of the owner for that parcel of cask. So it can be really good quality wood. It can be quite disappointing wood quality. So like taking control of that wood management piece from our side is quite important. So just the re-racking and the wood management is really, really key on what we do.
Yeah, I think when you're buying a parcel, independent single cask releasers will buy a parcel maybe to get one or two casks of those that they think are exceptional, and the rest will buy just to get that and then pass it on. Are you looking more, what can I do with these 8, 10, 12, 15 casks as a whole, or are you kind of in the same mindset? That's kind of where I was trying to get to.
No, I guess I mean typically if we're buying a parcel, usually we're thinking of that like that's for ourselves for longer term. And I mean, of course, like as I said, it's immediately quite obvious on the core range where that comes into play of just having some consistency of distillate over a period of time for sure. But even on some of the stuff we use on limited editions and things like I would guess we've not earmarked an exact use for every cask that we bought, but the idea would be for us to use them sometime in the future. Yeah.
There was a good question from somebody earlier on, and they were asking, my mouse is also broken. I can't scroll up, but I'm sure they asked about whether there's a cask that's just like so good that you don't want to put it into a blend. Do you want to just like, there's something like that. I can't remember who asked the question. Mike, scroll up.
It was Andy May.
Okay.
It's a really good question, and that I would say in general we've always been very, very confident that what we're blending, we genuinely feel we can make something that is more interesting, flavoursome than the components. But there's one or two that we're definitely going to face some challenges with. So I was sampling a 16-year-old Caolila PX that had been re-racked about 4 years ago into really good quality PX, and that cask is sort of stuck out in my head of something that's going to be a challenge, and that I'm not too sure what direction to take it in or what way to play it. And that it was it was really outstanding. So that one's definitely stuck in my head of not quite sure what the strategy will be on it at this point. Yeah.
Sure. When So I was going to say there's another question. I think it was Rick who was asking, is there any? You're at the Leith Independent Spirits Festival. You'll be there this year, which is great. We'll see you there as punters this time, which would be fantastic. Have you got any surprises? Anything that you can let us know about? Yeah,
so we have a new collaboration bottling that'll be coming out in April that will have just about bottled by then. So we might be able to have an under the table sample bottle or something just to preview what's to come. Be quite a cool one to let people have a guess and see if they can work out what the collaboration or what the distillery is or what country it's coming from. So yeah, for guys who don't know, what the collaborations basically is, what we do one release each year, whereas we work with a distillery not from Scotland. So typically everything we do is blended Scotch whisky. But for these collaborations, just one project where we work with a distillery outside of Scotland who we think are making really good whisky, doing exciting things, have a sort of similar view of the whisky world as ourselves, and yeah, it's great fun to work on. So the challenge in a way with these is that you want to showcase the international distillery as like the main DNA of the blend really running through it, but then blend it in a way that nobody would have seen that distillery as just another bottling. So it'll be a really cool release, that one. I'm really excited about it, and it certainly causes enough headaches logistically trying to pull it together anyway. So yeah.
I can imagine. So do you blend that in Scotland, or what's the process?
I can't remember if we spoke about that last time. So it's a weird one in that you're not allowed to. The Scotch Whisky Association, the regulations are you can't blend non-Scotch whisky in Scotland. So
yes, we did. You got the north of England. Yeah, we did.
No, we don't do north of England, so it's even more bizarre for us in that.
I think Woven. We spoke about it with Peter at Woven as well. He's kind of had the same issue. Yeah.
So our distribution partner in Germany, who we're very close with, they also have a stake in a bottling operation in Germany. So they said they'd be happy to help us out with it if we wanted to work that way. So. Like, for example, the first release that we did was with Starward Distillery from Melbourne in Australia. So you had Scotch whisky, blended Scotch whisky, Australian single malt whisky, blended together in Germany, bottled in Germany, and then distributed to international markets. So yeah, an interesting footprint for sure. But really,
so do you have to go over to Germany to oversee the blending then?
So we could do everything sort of in advance through sample blending. Right. But by the time I would go over to Germany quite regularly to see the guys and things anyway, so that's easy enough. But we would typically do the Scotch whisky part of the blend. We would blend in Scotland and then ship in IBC container to Germany. So you wouldn't ship the individual casks. We would do the Scottish part of the blend to Germany, and then the final part of the blend in Germany. So it's, as I say, logistical nightmare.
All down to a bit of paperwork.
Yeah, the weird part of the paperwork, which I didn't know at the beginning, was I think you are actually. I could be wrong on this because we've not properly looked at it, but I think you are allowed to bottle it in Scotland. You're just not allowed to blend it in Scotland. So I think theoretically. I don't know if Woven did this. I need to talk to Peter about it, but I think theoretically they could blend in England and bring back and bottle in Scotland, but I'm not 100% on
that. I can't remember what Peter said. I think they bottle it in England as well and get it transported.
I'm liking the shout in the comments there for Chi Boo.
I was going to say the guessing's already started.
What was I going to say? I've still got your song recommendation firmly in my mind. If we do a Japanese collaboration, Mike, I remember what was it? You said
turning Japanese.
Turning Japanese with Ben Nevis. I was like, it's quality.
That'd be great. I think it still brings. It still have that whole people are. Yeah, because that rules have all changed now, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so, Yeah.
No, I love that show. That's one that's definitely stuck in my head. So, yeah.
I'll only take like 90% of the royalty.
I do quite like the idea. Like, so if everyone's coming up to your table at least to guess the country, it kind of makes it like a whiskey festival a little bit more like a sort of school fair, you know, where every table's got like a sort of lucky squares, or like I think we need to
even.
Are we
Sorry.
tombola?
Yeah. I think whiskey festivals now, like every distillery and independent bottler has like a wee game at the table, just, you know, to keep things interesting.
It's funny you kind of say that as well. It made me think, even when you're saying like in the last year, any sort of cool things that had happened, cool kind of highlights, and the one of the releases that we did at the end of last year that you had on your table earlier, Mike, the track 7 with the new distilleries in Scotland, like that was such a cool project to work on. But I'll talk you through the bottling, and then I'll talk you through the kind of event that we did on it, because that is sort of touching on what you were talking about, Kat. But the bottling, we basically had this idea that it would be really cool to do a blend of who we think are some of the most exciting new generation of distilleries in Scotland. So we ended up with working with Ardnamurchan and Glenallachie, Nicknean and Rassie. So all like awesome distilleries. Each has their own unique story and like amazing story, but they also all have this like absolute commitment to quality, and there's loads of synergy between what we are doing in each of the brands, just trying to challenge the status quo of the whiskey industry in some way. So we thought like doing this bottling would be a great way to create synergy between the brands to some degree as well. So that made up the malt content, which was really cool, and that none of the malts had ever been in a blend before, which is kind of our own wee small piece of history as well, which is really, really cool. So yeah, you've got the Ardnamurchan peated sherry, Lochlean and Nicknean first fill bourbon, and the Rassie peated chinkapin. Cool side on the grain was that obviously there's no new grain distillery in Scotland to really go after, but we thought we would do the opposite and work with a extinct grain distillery. So Port Dundas, sort of old world grain, new world malt. So a 53% alcohol, quite heavily peated. You get that really meaty character coming through from the Ardnamurchan as well, and then some of the sort of creaminess, the barley notes from the bourbon barrels. But really cool bottling. But on the kind of event side of things, Kat, we thought we'd do a sort of launch event in Glasgow, and it was for about 100 people or something. So we did just a sort of night where you could taste some of the turntable whiskies. We'd introduce the new release, but we also said to each of the distilleries, the new distilleries, could they have sort of a small stand at a different point in the room, and they could showcase 2 whiskies each. One that was like the component going into the blend, and one just to showcase their style of distillery, anything they wanted. So it ended up being almost a mini festival where you could taste the blend, but then deconstruct it around the room as you wanted to, and like just a cool way for all of us to like get together and host an event together. So I was almost taking any opportunity we can find to do like mini festival is such a cool way to bring people together.
Absolutely. It's I mean we talked about this
awesome
before.
Idea,
Crack on, Kat.
On you go. We've got a delay. No, we've got a delay. I was just thinking it's an awesome idea. One of us has got a delay, probably me. I'll just sit and drink.
Yeah, it's a great idea. We talked about this bottle before, and just talking about it, I don't know if it was just the words come across that actually made the cellophane fall off. So I had to pour it. So yeah. So you know, Ali, you're going to be at the shop tomorrow night as part of our new whiskey club, Blether and Whisky Club, their first host, which is really looking forward to it. And this is going to be on the lineup. So if you're watching and you're coming, this is going to be in there. I just had a wee taste of it, and it's big, isn't it? It's got such a big mouthfeel. It's quite waxy and drying. It's kind of got a real sappiness to it, which is
for sure. I mean, I really enjoyed working on this one as well, because it gave you such an opportunity to get to know each of the distilleries a little better and the distillery character and things. So it was it was a really fun one to work on. But the Ardnamurchan making up quite a large percentage. I think it's up at 37. I think it is. It's. I mean, we went for the peated sherry butt from Ardnamurchan, and it's definitely got that kind of waxy, full-bodied, as I say, that sort of meaty character, slightly dry as well. So that's probably sort of leading the flavour profile. But I still think the Lochlee and the Nickney and First Fill bourbon, just that super fruity barley sugar, and then obviously the peated from Rassie as well is I don't know, almost like a kind of burnt toffee, peppery, and it's really cool. But each of the distilleries were great to work with. It was quite a funny one. It's quite funny trying to pull it together as well. It's sort of like talking. Fun. Yeah, no, but I was talking to each of the guys, like saying we've got this idea as something we'd really like to do, and all of them were sort of saying it's really cool. We love it. Theoretically, we'd like to be a part of it, but who else is doing it? And I was like, we need a domino to fall here, guys. We need somebody to sign up. But
we got to sign an NDA. It's lovely. It's kind of got that when I don't get so much of the peat on the nose. It's more that savoury, like almost like a curry paste kind of savouriness. It's quite spicy in that way, cinnamons and things like that. And then put it in your mouth, and this kind of real burst of that kind of coastal seaside bonfire kind of idea, kind of wax. And then later on, this fruity dessert kind of flavour comes through.
It's funny, really I didn't actually deliberately leave them on my desk, but I've still got like some of the cast samples of sort of what made up, like just kicking around on the desk. So it's
as you do.
It's quite funny. Yeah. It definitely wasn't planned.
When you're doing, because it's 53%, is that a cut to 53, or is that cut. A natural?
Yeah, cut. I think this one, because I mean, of course, as well, you got to remember, like most of the time when we're blending, I said the malts are sort of 10 to 15 years old. Obviously, for this one, we're a little younger, and the distilleries are younger. So I think the Ardnamurchan was 6, and the others were 5. So the ABV, the cast strength ABV on this one, I think was probably still up just above 60 that we pulled down. So it was, naturally still sitting a bit higher than usual on this one.
It's wonderful. So you select, or you blend to an ABV based on the flavour, not going for that natural kind of cask or cut it too low. You just think what works for them.
I don't know what you guys think. I mean, I found like on daily drinking whiskey, I think 46 to 48 is great. I'm quite happy with that. But when you're getting into the slightly like bigger flavour profiles and things, I usually find myself wanting to be somewhere between 50 and 55. I don't know if you guys are the same on that, but like there's stuff above that is great, but I just find most of the time that's the kind of sweet spot for me, somewhere between the 50 and 55.
Yeah. What about you, Kat?
So I struggle anything higher than that, to be honest. Like, because Glengarry is kind of like my sort of whiskey that I talk about and drink a lot. So like it's 48. So like I'm kind of comfortable like around 48, 50. But it seems like we had one that was like 60 point. What was it, like 60 point something? Honestly, knocked you on your arse. I'm like, nah. I can't do that. But
it's funny. It's not so much in the UK, but some of the international markets, it's like a higher the better type attitude, and I don't agree with it. But there's a lot of the time where I don't know. Sometimes I even think in the likes of Germany, it's like there's a demand for quite extreme whiskey. So like if it's sherry matured, they want dark, heavy sherry matured. If it's peated, it's like as punchy as you can get it. And if it's cast strength, sort of if it's 60 plus, that's great. And if you can get all three in the one glass, then that's an absolute winner. But
It just sounds like a punch up in a bar, really, that, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think for me, it is something we try and present, certainly in the bar when people are drinking in the bar. It's a different story when you're sending people off from the shop and to drink at home. It's, we try and encourage them to take some water with the particular high strength. What I try to get across to people is that just because a bottle's bottled at cask strength, that doesn't mean the drinkers want you to drink. The bottlers want you to drink it. That it's giving you the option to have
exactly
what you want. Whereas if it's pre-cut, that's kind of them saying, this will be a nice flavor that we think is going to work for it. Whereas at cask strength, and you get that customer, rightly or wrongly, it's completely individual, of course. We'll say that's how it's bottled, that's how I'm meant to drink it. And it's like, not really. You don't have to go at 59% every bottle. You'll just find that level that suits you. And more and more, I'm kind of finding this idea that cask strength bottling doesn't have to be drunk at cask strength. It's Absolutely. Allowing you to drink it the way that you are comfortable with.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's the joy. It's a beauty of it.
No, on you go. I'm just going to go.
I know we've got a wee delay again. What I was going to say is, your former employer. I mean, you worked with Billy for a long time, and I remember he said in one podcast or YouTube, but during lockdown, he said if it was along the lines of if somebody had to put water through his whiskey, he hadn't done his job right. And I thought that's a big statement considering I understand where he's going with it, but
that was a big statement, especially the amount that release a single cask strength. So there's a lot of punchy stuff, but I don't know. It's an interesting one. Like Billy could probably get really geeky on it, but I think sometimes on the water added, like when you talk about the blending and getting the whiskies to marry and integrate, actually getting the water to integrate, I sometimes find is the more challenging part, and even compared to the marrying of the whiskies. So actually, sometimes when we have done a blend at cask strength, I would say it's actually slightly easier than not having to think about the water reduction. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah.
Because you would have to add it at ambient temperature, wouldn't you? Because if it's too cold, you get that louching effect, and sometimes that won't disappear.
Yeah, and like when we talk about the marrying period of like that kind of 3-month marrying period, I would see that like the most important part for that to me is actually getting the majority of the reduction, the water to integrate and marry. I think is really important on that.
Yeah, so much more to it, isn't there? Than just chucking it in a vat or a cask. So somebody did ask Willis, I think this is where you were going, maybe, Kat. Willis was asking, Ali, do you marry the whiskey in an old cask or a vat?
It's a cool question. So we're in old casks just now. So refill butts or puncheons are 500 litres, bigger style of cask, where you're effectively not looking for too much wood influence at that point. We're just looking for a marrying period at that point.
I think we need to change the word marrying, because marrying implies something good happening and coming together, whereas sometimes it's just not the case at all. I think we should call it. I think we should call it something less controversial. We should call it, like, I don't know, Netflix and chilling the whiskey together.
Changing the industry here.
Yeah, I'm not happy with the word marrying at all.
just based on your own personal experience, Kat, you think?
Yeah, I think we need to do modern times, modern ways. Let's change the lingo, guys. No, we're not calling it shag. That's ridiculous.
That was quick off the mark, Ian. You old romantic. There's Willis. We had this conversation with, was it Kenny McDonald from Dratmore on our Blether? We were trying to come up with new terms for whiskey, and we came up with a few that I think should stick. We'll have to go back and revisit that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so new words for marrying, guys. Come up with your ideas. They have to be able to be put on a bottle. So I don't think Trager blending is.
The new turntable strapline, yeah.
Whiskey with benefits, would that work?
Conscious coupling. I don't know, because Gwyneth had her conscious uncoupling, didn't she? So you could have a conscious coupling. I don't know. There's bound to be something better than marriage, honestly.
Grouping.
Up in Aberdeenshire, when folk live together, like this is old school, like when folk, if you lived with somebody and didn't marry them, and it was still a little bit like, her down the road, you called it a bidey in. Oh, she's got a bidey in. So you could call it like bideying in the bourbon and the sherry, or bideying in. That's much nicer. I'm going to change the script at work.
How about an orgy of casks?
Let's stick with bideying. Yeah, I think better.
Nobody wants to have a little bit of vomit in their mouth when they're talking about it. I think just... talking about names and words, tell us the whole vision behind the music tracks.
So I don't know, I love for Gordon and I beyond Whisky was always music. Neither of us remotely musically talented, so there was nothing in that for sure. But we both kind of like this idea of people connecting through music and whiskey in a different way. So the idea that both can take you to a different place, different time, different memory, and that experience is unique to each of us. So like when we're looking at track names for the whiskey, people often ask me, does the music come first or the whiskey come first? And the whiskey always comes first. The combination, the track, like there's no right answer. There's no perfect way of doing it. It can vary from bottling to bottling. So I mean, the first 3 tracks that we released at the very beginning, there was I'm trying to think. So they were all totally different reasons. So the very first one we had was called Joy, Discovery, Invention, and that was the first song on the very first Biffy Clyro album. And Gordon and I were at the same school as the guys, and it was the first concert I went to when I was 13 or something like that. And just even what we were trying to do in the world of blending, this idea of joy, discovery, invention, everything tied together really nicely. So it was a nice sort of story to tell with that. But then we had, the second one was Firestarter, and it was the Prodigy, and obviously it was a peated whiskey, but just the whole attitude of the Prodigy and being sort of, I don't know, 2 fingers up to the establishment, doing things differently, breaking free. It seemed to tie in to our story in a different way. And then the last one was the heavily sherry matured of that set. It was track 3 was Purple Haze, and just purely because I thought Jimi Hendrix and Purple Haze went really, really well with the whiskey. But so there's no, as I say, there's no perfect answer to the way we do things. And I always actually love getting talking to people about it and hearing what music they would pair with it and why would they pair it with that whiskey. So in a way, we almost do it as well as just a way to connect and have conversation and spark a different discussion.
No, it's cool, because music always comes up in the chat. Either food or music comes up in the chat most weeks to do with whiskey. And you spoke about it on your website as well. So you have the same sensory kind of experience, smelling and tasting stuff as you do sometimes in music, kind of invokes a memory. So it's really fun to bring those 2 worlds
it's funny in a way, part of it was also because I think we were both at the time we started, we were a little tired of the stuffy tasting notes. I thought it became quite pretentious for a while of just these over elaborate, crazy tasting notes of telling people what they should be tasting. And I think the idea of going down the music theme was just to almost give a sense of what to expect from the whiskey, but in a totally different way. So at the time when we were starting, we were talking about it, should we do no tasting notes whatsoever, nothing, and just the song, just the music connection, just the name. In the end, we felt like that we needed to give a few bullet points just for guidance as to what to expect. But yeah, it was just a way of stepping away from the same old tasting notes as well sometimes.
No, it's really cool. Everyone's getting very carried away with renaming marriage.
Swipe right spirits.
I'm loving how much people seem to know about modern online dating as well, guys. We're revealing a bit too much about yourselves, but yeah, we've got some very clever suggestions coming in. And there was a couple of music suggestions further up as well. People are so passionate about the music they like, right?
Yeah. I noticed I Am the Resurrection should be a Brora release.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep firing them in, guys.
Yeah,
I don't know what I'd like to do.
Just do this each year for naming inspiration for sure. They're coming away with lots of great ideas.
The guys who are watching will know how, I haven't spoken about music and whiskey in a while actually, but it's, I think drinking whiskey and listening to music are two things that are so personal. They're so linked in that one day you quite fancy a bit of Meatloaf or power ballads or something, and then the other day you want something really chilled and laid back, and then you want like a Biffy Clyde or something a bit heavier. It just depends on your mood, who you're with, why you're listening to it. And whiskey just
depends on your like upbringing and background as well. So like if you're like, obviously we're in quite a few international markets now as well, so it's cool to hear different people from totally different places, like what their musical upbringing was in a way as well. Is it different to what we would have listened to? And yeah, it's cool to hear different stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I love on a Friday when your Spotify kind of puts together like a little new music playlist for you, and you get to sit and like, ooh, am I going to like any of it? That's always good fun.
Gordon's has changed quite significantly. He's got a 2-year-old daughter now who's absolutely infiltrated his Spotify. So he said that Friday playlist is not the same as it used to be.
I opened up YouTube this today to kind of get the link to share, and the amount of subscriptions to like I don't know what, because Killian, when he watches our phone, like just pushes buttons, and I've subscribed to so many channels of Blippi and Peppa Pig and I don't know, but you can't just do a blanket cancel. You have to go one by one, and there are hundreds of these bloody.
How old's Killian?
He'll be 3 next month.
Nice, similar.
So similar age, yeah. Jeremy, I now have dual accounts. We have YouTube Kids for him, not for me, but sometimes I wish.
See, I'm the other end. My kids are like 18, 16, and they kind of come downstairs like, oh, you heard this song? And like they'll play it. Like I found this really cool old song, and it's like literally something like Biffy or like, I don't know, stuff we grew up with at school. I'm like, we're not putting this in the old bracket. Like, we're not like, this is like not.
Yeah,
this is
I definitely don't see that as the old bracket at all. Man. That's still
they're not old.
Yeah. No, because they were up in Aberdeen. I missed them. They were up in Aberdeen a couple of weeks ago.
Last month.
Yeah, because somebody mentioned on the chat there that they were friends with or knew somebody that was their sound engineer. But Paul, who's not watching tonight because he's off working something else, he toured with them before they became famous. So we're going to try and go and see them, but the tickets are quite expensive. And just
toured with them, like a roadie or.
No, so Paul's probably not going to appreciate me telling people this, but he's not watching, so it's fine. He used to be in a band, so he's really into metal music. So he took me to a gig the other day, and I liked some of it, but I'm like literally like just clapping along. This is quite good, isn't it? And all these guys are like, and I'm like, what's happening down there? They're getting a bit rough, and he's like, that's a mosh pit. I'm like, oh. That's exciting. And they just pick people up. They just pick people up, and like people are crowd surfing, and they just kind of plop them over the end, and they just kind of run around like little hamsters, come back in again, like off we go again. I'm clapping around like, oh, this is good. Anyway, he used to be in a band because he's a drummer, and when they were touring, Biffy was their support band, and then their careers diverged. And Biffy kind of took off a little bit more than Paul's band, but I'm sure everyone's happy in their new roles. So there you go.
That's
Just
very
Totally.
cool.
just takes that one twist of fate.
Exactly, but I do love Biffy. Love him. Love him, love him, love him. Do you know what I love about them? Like you can just tell they're Scottish when they're singing, like, and they don't really ham up their accent. You can just really hear their accent while they're singing, which I absolutely love.
Is like the band more than anyone else. If I'm traveling with work or something like it, they just sound like home to me. Like that's the most
100%.
grounding. Just sound like home.
Yeah, I've never seen them live. I'd love to do it. We'll get that ticked off at some point, but yeah. Music, you gotta love it. I grew up with Pink Floyd, so it's like the one and only band that me and Paul have can meet in the middle because, like, you know, everyone likes Pink Floyd, but yeah, that's quite a cool thing to grow up with. Anywho's, yeah, keep your music suggestions coming in, guys.
We've got the IS team, Independent Spirits team. Was just listening to The Bends by Radiohead, but maybe not the best name for a whiskey. I mean, it's just a blend without the L. It's not that far.
Huh? Can work it in.
Yeah.
I know. Well, there's so many iconic songs that you could. Well, who was it we were chatting to for ages about that we were? If distilleries were bands, was it Greg?
From? I think
it was. Yeah, and I think he got a little bit. Well, you could tell which distilleries were his favourites and which weren't by the bands that they got a lot to do.
And the guys at home, I think there was a lot of anti-Coldplay out there.
Yeah, you don't like Coldplay, do you?
Quite like the shout of Highland Park side of the moon, though. It's quite good.
So I have to say hello as well. Sorry. So Reb, who's popped in the comment, who's not actually called Reb, he's called Mordechai. Sorry if I buggered up your pronunciation. But he came to visit me at the distillery yesterday, day before. Gosh, all the days are one of the days. So yeah, it was lovely to meet you in person, and he brought his sons with him as well. It's been a long day of driving, but he was teaching me all about kosher because he is an independent kosher whiskey expert. So it was really cool to learn all about that and hang out for a bit. So
is that to come in and like make the casks at the distillery kosher and things like that, or
no? It was more that he's in Scotland just now anyway, kind of working and visiting distilleries and giving lectures and things. So he wanted to pop up to see Glengarry, but I've had quite a few requests in from kosher groups, and I just didn't know enough about it to say, you know, whether we had any whiskey we could try. I thought we didn't, and right enough we didn't. But he was more just a kind of learning experience to kind of teach me what kosher is and means, so I could then teach a team. So yeah, it was really interesting. But I think he does work with some distilleries to kind of see about kind of whether they can have kosher casks and things. But yeah, there's a lot to learn about it. It's massively interesting. So I'm really grateful he came up to spend some time with me.
Yeah, it's an area I don't know too much about. I seem to remember, was it wine and sherry casks or no? No.
Anything
grape bourbon or virgin oak can be, or
yes.
Yeah.
I think there is like tequila cask can be kosher as well. So there are some other spirits that can be used.
Okay.
Anything that's not grape. Anything that's not a grape alcohol. So yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Reb has, Mordecai. We keep. I think Reb's your Blether name now. So, but I think he has tried to explain it over the text, over the messages a few times, and we've completely gone wrong. So it was great. He was in the shop, a couple of years ago now, maybe a year and a half ago. It's maybe longer ago than that, probably. But yeah, and it's really interesting to have a chat and see, because as Kat says, there's a kind of tour group in Scotland called Kosher Scotland, and they bring people over and do specific group events for them and stuff. So it's really interesting to have that kind of insight and ability to be able to talk confidently on it. I'm not there yet.
No, I'm definitely not, but it's good cactus. So
I know. Yeah, definitely. So
you could do, sorry, while it's in my head, you could do a blend that's kosher friendly and call it the Kosher Chiefs.
Nice. Yeah.
Every year there's a new one, Mike. It's all been saved.
I've got another one as well. I don't want to hog it, but have you ever done a blended grain?
We've not. Everything we've done so far has been blended whiskey. So there's a couple of blended malts that we're playing around with just now, but we've not done a blended grain yet.
Blended grain. Why does it always grain on me?
Good old Travis, yeah.
Got to be.
Oh, do you know, I think Travis probably lived very comfortably knowing that every single independent local radio station in Scotland plays that nearly every single day and will do until the end of time.
Springbank had a release with the guys a year or two ago, didn't they?
That's right, actually. Well remembered, they did, didn't they? Yeah, that's the first time I'd seen them kind of in years, but you're right, they did.
Did they play? Did they play the festival? Did they go down?
I think they did, didn't they?
Yeah, that's quite cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
They kind of play. They probably did, but I'd imagine. Yeah, probably. At this point, I'm on a blend theme tonight, and these guys influenced by a wee connection to this is the Cargo 5-year-old Adelphi, which is an annual. I'm not sure if it's fusion whiskey. It's I'm not sure if it's under the Adelphi name. Yeah, it's blended by Adelphi, American and the New Zealand malts.
I've not tried it. Very cool. I've got to say,
I'll give you that tomorrow.
Perfect. No, I mean, to be honest, when we're doing the cask sampling and things, from all the distilleries, that it was really, really good quality with the Ardnamurchan across the board. If it was bourbon peated, unpeated, sherry peated, unpeated, the quality of all styles was really, really high and really consistent there. I think they're doing a great job at the distillery, but on the Adelphi side as well, I think they do a really good job.
Yes, Fleetwood Cask is quite good. There's a lot of good suggestions coming in. There's so many. It's nice to see so much love for the blends as well, though. And I think, I don't know, you were kind of hinted on it earlier that, you know, you thought that kind of the whiskey geeks would kind of turn their nose up at it and be more like sort of adventurous. But are you seeing like a change in people's drinking patterns? Like, are people more adventurous now? Like, I don't really get to see that side things.
I think so. I think there's a few sides to that one. I think people are definitely more open-minded. I'm not sure the exact reasons. I think there was a little bit of it as well that during the pandemic period and that real boom and spike, I think there was too much whiskey that was put out at too high prices and the quality didn't match the price. And I think consumers or customers, like, they wise up to it and they know what they're looking for and what good quality versus good price, good value is in the glass. And I think when it was pushed so far, and then all of a sudden the market isn't quite the same way as it was then, and people maybe don't have as much money available to spend as they did at that time, they're probably more aware of what they're spending on, or are just looking for quality versus price. And I think are probably less focus on which category that comes from. It is really about quality. And I think that's really healthy for the industry. I did think during that post-pandemic boom, although it was good for the whiskey industry, I'm not sure it was actually that healthy, and the pricing just went so wild, and I don't think the quality necessarily lived up to the price at all times, and I don't think that was great for the industry. So in some ways, although times as a whole for the industry are a little more challenging, I think it is more realistic now that the quality has to be good, and I think that's a really good thing.
Yeah, definitely.
People just want bang for their buck. No, they want something that they're happy to say I spent £50 or £150, and I think that's worth it.
I even for us, Mike, like people ask us about pricing and positioning and things, and to be honest, really what it comes down to for Gordon and I is like any person that buys any one of our blends, no matter what it is, if it's a limited edition that's £85 or unplugged at £39, the sort of feeling around it is just the same thing. I want anybody who buys a bottle, when they open it, when they drink it, I want them to think that was really good value, that the quality versus the price I paid was really, really good, and I would happily spend it again. That's really what we want across anything.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
A lot of chat coming through now about the people doing blending, Compass Box, Woven, Turntable, all doing amazing blends. Old Perth. Ian saying as well, premium blends are good, but it's hit and miss with so many blenders out there, especially questionable celebrity ones. Maybe need more tasting packs to help confirm. You haven't done a celebrity collaboration yet?
No, nothing. Nothing. I always find it interesting how that varies in the spirits industry as well. It's like you look at North America and things as a market. It's the celebrity spirits, whether it's whiskey or not, like just celebrity spirits is massive over there, like just huge. Yeah. I look at it in the UK, and I was trying to understand why sometimes it maybe doesn't work. And I think a lot of people are probably the same as me, that if I see a celebrity endorsed spirit, usually I think, well, they need the celebrity because the spirit's probably not very good. So we're probably quite cynical about it. So
I think there's always that
attitude,
there's that. Is it? Why are they endorsed? You look at, we won't name names, but there's always a dubiety about it. It's like, am I going to like? And maybe even it goes beyond that. When you taste it, you don't want to like it because it's endorsed or whatever.
Yeah, it's become a big part of the industry in recent years. Though you're seeing more and more of it.
Hedonism have just announced the really pretty redheaded actress lady as like the sort of face of the release this year. Karen Gillan.
Oh, yeah. She's up Elgin. Is it Elgin she's from, or further north?
I don't know. I didn't know she was Scottish.
Yeah.
She's okay. I didn't know that. And then the whole every release they do for that is beautiful, and like all the pictures are beautiful, but as well. But yeah, I mean,
their packaging and stuff is always great, and Compass Box were a big inspiration for us when we started and things. Like it's very cool what they've done. I just find it kind of funny in a way that Compass Box are 25 years old now.
Yeah,
you think like. But in that time, I feel like, yes, you've seen other people do small batch blending and things, but nobody else before the sort of Woven and ourselves, and like during that time, nobody else had really stepped into that world of purely focused on small batch blending. It's kind of funny.
The whole brand is based on that,
but no, I think Compass Box have done such a cool job for such a long time, and
I couldn't believe
it. A lot of change now with John stepping away and things like loads of changes. But they've done a very cool job.
Yeah, but I think going back to that value for money thing, and that I think combined with people like our audience at home and people who follow whiskey and don't just go to the pub and drink, for the sake of it, blends are becoming that kind of go-to everyday drinker that they can afford, they can rely on. As malt prices off the shelf kind of sneak up, and we look at Glendronach 12 is now £60 when we opened the shop, it was like 32 or something like that. That's a lot of money to spend on that for a lot of people, whereas you can buy a whiskey from you guys for £40. That reliability. You're looking at kind of Berry Brothers are doing it, North Star are coming out, Dramore with the Dumbarton Rock. People are looking for that safety net of consistency, affordable.
Yeah, we had was it one of the guys in Germany when I was out there recently we're talking about the unplugged, which is about the £39 mark for us, and in a way it's like, although like doing the new distilleries blend and some of the other limited releases there is so exciting for us, but in a way for Gordon and I would say like the unplugged is the one we've been most excited about, and that I just think quality versus price on that is like, we're just so proud of it. We think it's really great quality. But one of the guys in Germany was tasting it, and he said to me, "Oh, it's a Champions League whiskey." I thought, well, that sounds like a compliment. That's very nice. And I said, yeah, it's perfect for a Tuesday, Wednesday night. I was like, all right, yeah, now I get it. So, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. They're just that safety net. They're not forking out a load of money on a day-to-day drinker because, like I said, people want value for money. And I think the industry's realising that more than ever. They've seen success of Compass Box, you guys. Woven are really kind of do make that. We probably haven't quite got that name up here yet. People, it's still quite small in terms of the drinkers up here. But I know down in Edinburgh, they're massive and worldwide.
They've done well in Larson as well. Yeah,
they're doing fantastic stuff. The liquid is excellent. So that's maybe the mindset is switching to it doesn't have to be malt anymore. It can be blends.
Exactly. The truth is, like, for us out there, it's not even that. I would say, like, with what we're doing, we're just playing a small part in trying to change the way people look at it and think about it. But it's not to get people to move away from single malts or not appreciate great single cask, single malts, great distillers. It's just to try and stay open-minded about other areas as well. And I think there's amazing single malts, but it doesn't mean that there can't be amazing blends as well. I think it's just being open-minded. And you see it in all sorts of areas across whiskey as well. Like, loads of people would turn their nose up at grain whiskies as well. And a lot of the time, when we were going through our casks and inventory and looking at some of the samples, like some of the older grain casks, I think are like some of the best, like absolutely stunning. So it's, as I say, just always staying open-minded and letting the taste dictate.
Everyone is endorsing Glengarry called the Distillery Cat. So if Boutique are watching and that they want to sort of draw me into a Glengarry label, I'm okay with that.
With your hair up, but otherwise the label would just be this big font.
Big massive hair. Yeah. Potentially that's exactly the line they would go down, just like a really hairy cat on the with some tomatoes, because everyone puts tomatoes on Glengarry labels. But
what would you blend with Glengarry, Kat, if you had a choice?
What would I blend with it? What would I consciously couple with it?
I was just saying, because we do I was just thinking there. I think we do have a few castle quite young Glengarry. Like, this will be a few years away, but I was just thinking, I'm not sure what direction we would take it in. I get curious to hear what direction you would take it in if you're looking at it. Yeah.
That is such an interesting question I've never actually thought about. I don't know.
Not that it needs to go in any direction. It's great. I'm not saying. I'm just curious. Yeah.
Like, Glengarry is quite like a punchy whiskey. Like, it kind of stands out quite a bit. So you'd have to have something that kind of stood up to it a little bit. I don't know. That's such a good question. I'm going to have to think about that when I come back to you with an answer. I don't know. What do you think? What do the guys think? What do you think?
I was curious when you say it's quite punchy, something that stands up to it. I don't know. Are you thinking full bodied, like, I don't know, Craigellachie, or something quite heavy, or I don't know.
Yeah.
What classes that you've got? Is it ex-bourbon, ex-sherry?
I think it is. I mean, they're still young. We could re-rack and go in a different direction, but I don't think there's anything in sherry at this point. I think it's bourbon. First or second fill bourbon, I think. Yeah.
I love Glengarry and bourbon anyway. Like, it's just all kind of big juicy fruits and like a big oily, dirty mouth. It's nice.
That's what the tasting notes should be. You know, I say these over elaborate tasting notes. That's what it should be. A big oily, dirty mouth. That's good.
Yeah, I was allowed to write tasting notes once, and then they never asked me to do it again. So that's potentially why. Yeah, that's a very, very good question. Everyone keeps asking. I think they're talking about turntables now. Everyone's asking about turntables, and Mr. Sturk's on. He's asking, do Ali and Gordon have turntables, or are they vinyl boys, or is it just old farts like me? What is a turntable again? Is that the thing where you put records on, or like just checking? That is okay.
No, we both do, and we both have small vinyl collections, but nothing to write home about. I love like going out and choosing a new vinyl record and things, but the collection is like nothing to get overexcited about. But yeah, it's I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's Dave Broom. He's got the most amazing collection of records. Like, remember when we had them on the chat, Mike, and like the whole back wall was just like hundreds.
There was the guy. So it was when we were starting a turntable in France. There's a guy I'd worked with before from a distribution point of view, and I was telling him about turntable and what we were going to do, and he said, Ali, you don't know this about me, but before I worked in the drinks industry, I worked in the music industry. He had his vinyl collection was over 20,000. I had never 20,000. But then we started talking about like bands and people in the industry, and he used to work on the PR side and journalism side within music as well. And like any of the names coming up, he met them all. It was like Dave Grohl, No Gallagher, like Kurt Cobain. He like met and interviewed them all. I was like, who are you?
Little guru legend. It's just, it reminds me of. Have you ever seen the film The Commitments? No. There's it's a fictional band, but they do all the kind of big blues hits. It's an Irish film, and it's brilliant. It's part comedy, part kind of biopic on a band trying to make it. And there's a guy called Joey the Lips Fagan, and he plays the saxophone, and this older guy, but he knows all the greats, and he's played with them all. He's kind of done backing saxophone for Wilson Pickett and all these guys, and but these are all his stories, and it gets to the point that nobody believes him, and they're just saying, "Oh, you're just bullshit" and all that. But right at the end, it turns out that he quite possibly was telling the truth the whole time. So, just
need to give it a watch.
Yeah, it's excellent. It's great fun. The soundtrack is phenomenal.
Nice.
I think the singer actually went on and had a solo career, not massive, but had a solo career doing singing. So. Olive, what are you drinking, by the way? I don't think we've actually.
So I was on Turntable Unplugged, and then I'd poured a dram from the Ardnamurchan, not the exact cast that went into the blend, but very, very similar to it. So I was on a peated Ardnamurchan 2018. So, yeah.
Nice.
I love Ardnamurchan so much. I think it's one of my favorite whiskies. It's probably one that I talk more about, other than the one that I get paid to talk about. I absolutely love it. If Ardnamurchan want me to pay to talk about it as well, I'm okay with that too. But I don't think my work would be okay with that. But I do love that whiskey. I want to go back to the distillery as well. And when I went, they were. You've not been?
Not been. I'm trying to think. Is there like a play park or something outside that I could have an excuse to drive my kids for like 3 hours in the middle of nowhere? Is it? Oh, there's a really good play park out here.
It's like there's nothing outside. No, it's like...
There's like a nice beach like further down the road that you could go to, but it's a long
sandcastle. I could go to Balmedy and build a sandcastle. It's 20 minutes away. But
nobody wants to go to Balmedy. It's shite. You should go to Ardnamurchan. It's so pretty. When I went, they weren't making whiskey, but they were making whiskey, but it wasn't released. Rather, so that must have been ages ago, because they're 10 years old.
I think it was Andrew from Little Brown Dog went out. He took his family out to see them, and they were closed. And he was like, "Can we at least he was like, "Can you do me a favor and at least let me in to use the toilet or something?" I'm sorry, there's nothing here. We never can. Two kids in the car, and the kids were like 2 or 3 at the time or something ridiculous. So,
Yeah.
but he's lucky that the full family have a real strong connection with the area.
I think his daughter's like named after a beach up there, I think, isn't she? I think she's got like an art market name.
Yeah.
We were camping at the time, and I think by the time we found somewhere to camp, it was dark. And then we woke up in the morning and we were camped next to a sign that said caution, like landmine testing site. We're like, oh my god! Like we were on the safe side of the gate. We were literally camped next to this gate, and on the other side it was some sort of landmine testing area. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like, if I got up for a pee in the middle of the night, can you imagine what a disaster that would have been? But, yeah.
Well, would have went out with a bang.
Very good. You are, since you became a father, like the puns just roll out of you now. It's like
they've always been there. It's just I don't know.
Now you're allowed to say them.
And I'm allowed. I don't have to hold them in. You got to feel sorry for Tony because she gets these like constantly.
I do feel sorry for it.
Mm-hmm. Just want to give a quick shout out to Stuart, who's watching. Stuart Dick of Torre Vague and Mossburn fame. Stuart is one of these guys who pops up on TikTok and has like 2 million viewers or something like that. It's ridiculous. Yeah. To the point, last time Stuart was up doing a tasting with us, it was Torre Vague tasting. We went back to my pub. Not the Foghouse. We've got a family pub in Inverurie as well. We're sat in the corner having a couple of drams. And 3 guys who didn't even look old enough to be drinking whiskey came up and said to him, "You're that dram babbler guy." And he was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh, we follow you. It's great fun." And he's like this little celebrity. And I'm like, piss off, Stuart. Is it? I'm the whiskey guy in this town, not you. I didn't even know these guys. It was great fun. But yeah, he's got such a strong social media presence. It's great.
Very cool. I'm not even on TikTok. Yeah.
No, I'm not on the TikToks either.
We are sporadically, but yeah, I always thought it was for 15-year-old girls to do dance moves or something, but it's apparently a massive shopping culture now on there as well. So.
Nice.
Get your soundtrack on.
Yeah, my kids say I'm not allowed to do Snapchat or TikTok because I'm too old, and that's fair, to be honest. Like I haven't got enough time for all those things in my life. I just watch reels 3 weeks afterwards. I'm like, guys, look at this, it's so fun. They're like, yeah, whatever. That was on TikTok like a month ago, Mum. Like, okay, cool. Everyone's excited about this Mr. Sturrock's festival coming up as well. There's a lot of chat I've seen. I think when we're not talking about music and your whiskey, Ali, the rest of the chat's all been about the upcoming festival, which is next month. No, next month.
21st of March, which is very exciting.
Yeah, I wasn't there last year, but Gordon was. But he said it was brilliant. He said it was one of the best.
Did you have a stand there?
So we shared with Jamie, so there was Living Souls and Turntable.
Okay.
And I think we're doing the same this year for it as well. But they said it was brilliant.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely epic. It seems to get mentioned nearly every other week. I think we're all still reliving it from last year and then looking forward to it for this year. It's going to be.
Here's an idea. I'm going to throw it out that David's watching. At the end of the festival, I think we should all do a silent disco. No, all the punters, while the guys are clearing it, are just. I think that would be amazing.
Do you know how pissed off everybody would be trying to clear up their tables and we're all just like bopping around doing big fish, little fish?
Silent discos are just phenomenal. I love it.
I've never been.
You've had your response.
Yeah, I know. Going to go down. I mean, think about it. Don't just write it off. I think there's something there.
Willis has just written, "Remember your PJs, Mike," because Mike went home. Mike pulled last year, just about went home with Willis, but without pajamas. So
Willis, call me.
Yeah. You could do a whiskey festival. Well, we were speaking to Ola. Did she not come up with a different type of whiskey festival that we thought we should try and do as well? There's definitely room.
Oh.
There's so many whiskey festivals out there. Like,
We were talking about the mystery festival where
that's right.
Like everyone nobody showcased everyone showcased their whiskey, but nothing was labelled or nothing was presented as this is a 26-year-old.
That'd be absolute carnage, man. It'd be cool though.
But it'd be cool. But just to screw with the geeks, because they would say, "Oh, Alu's there. We know that's going to be blended. You are going to be hosting the Stirk Brothers stand, and Dave will be doing the Little Brown Dog stand or something." So they couldn't even narrow it down to that. It's just like complete mystery.
Yeah, I feel it's cool. I'd quite like to. I'd seen a couple of festivals recently where they'd done this idea that it's like mini master classes. Everybody gets whatever 15-20 minutes type thing, and the customers, they don't choose which masterclass they attend, they just get a random allocation.
That's
cool. It's been quite cool. It's like, I think for both brand, it's like an opportunity to introduce the brand to people you might not usually get to speak to, or who would like actually come and find you during the festival. And also for the customers, I think it's quite cool that a chance for you to just go for something that you wouldn't usually go for either, and just get to learn about something completely new. But I quite like that idea of just a short mix and match and no say in it, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Ian Abernethy's remembered the name, but we're going to call it the Dramnesia Festival.
Yeah. Once you see people leaving a festival, I think
it's all Dramnesia in a way, but
what a mess sometimes people get into, bless them.
Do you know, again, it's funny. It's like on the international ones, sometimes you get the sessions are like 8 or 9 hour session festival, and like some people would be there the whole time. But I kind of think in Scotland it makes no difference if the festival is 2 hours, 3 hours, or 8 hours. For the last 30 minutes, everybody's going to try and get full value and go hell for leather. So,
yeah. Do you know what I did pick up on the festival last year was that didn't seem to be the case.
The indie one, no, I think that's I don't think that's the best thing for sure.
I think that's a kudos to Dave and Keith and the guys who organised it. They'd managed to market it to such a crowd. It's such a niche crowd that it was people who were wanting to really try.
Genuinely passionate, enthusiastic.
I think that's what set it apart.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's what it was. Just so good, and I'm really looking forward to this next one as well. Well, Willis, if you still have a room, then give me a shout. I'll pack a bag this time.
It's going to be good fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Just to plan my year, because like last year I was just living off the fact that I was turning 40. I was like, yeah, you invite me to a festival, I'll come along for sure. I can't really do that. I can't be like 41 this year, guys. If you want me to invite me to a festival, you have to find a different excuse for getting invited places for free. I don't know. I might have to start paying for tickets, but I grudge that.
I always pay my ticket.
It's like when you've been farming for 10 years, you really grudge buying a turnip because, like, you always get turnips for free. I'm not buying a turnip. What are you talking about? Yeah.
We've got this guy, bless him. He comes into our pub. Again, it's the family pub, the boozer rather than the foghouse, and he always just brings in like a handful of carrots or a parsnip. Just gives them to my mum, and he goes, "There you go, you take that." And Mom's like, "I don't know what to do with this." Like, we end up. Tony's a great. She starts taking him. It's like we make it into Killian soup or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just...
There was a farmer in the village that I grew up in. Such a lovely guy, but it was always neeps as well. And no matter what, I always seemed to have like a Hessian sack full of neeps. And like he really loved turnips. But I remember him, he's like, hell of a enemies, a neep. Athen wants to eat them. Rabbits, deer, like slugs. But like somebody went to his door because they'd run over his cat, and they're like, I'm really sorry, but I've run over your cat. He's like, oh, Mechty, you needing a neep? So like this guy
While you're here.
just came away with a neep. But yeah, that's so I just never paid for a neep. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about that. It's that time of year. Brain just takes the wonder.
Ian is saying that the Turnip and Whisky Festival, that's a very niche market. That's
definitely niche, yes.
That is. Like, turnips are quite difficult to pair anything with, to be honest. They're a pretty standalone vegetable.
Neeps and tatties. That's a bit, or haggis and tatties. That would be a bit.
Yeah. But yeah, like, quite a root vegetable in Whisky Festival. Branch it out potentially. But
did you know? Here's something I learned the other day, completely off. Well, it's on topic to what we're talking about, but nothing to do with whiskey. Vegetables aren't actually a category of food.
What do you mean?
It's a culinary term to blanket. So lettuce is a leaf, and onions and that are bulbs, and neeps and parsnips are root, but they're not vegetables. Vegetables are a culinary term to blanket all them in, apparently.
Oh, well, there you go.
Something I learned the other day. There we go.
There you go, and the Blether, educational and not just about whiskey. It's predominantly meant to be about whiskey. I don't know why we're talking about turnips.
Neeps and whiskey.
I mean, the name is in the Ian's Turnip and Whisky Festival. You just turn up and dram.
Mate, they're just rolling off of you tonight.
I should drink blends more often.
We should, but a turnip's not actually what we're thinking of, because like a neep is what do English people call it? A swed or something.
Swede.
A swede. Turnips like the wee pink, purpley things. Anyway, we're still talking about turnips. We need to stop talking about turnips.
Comments here, are fruits real then?
Yeah. Oh, well, that's and no, they're not. They're not, because I think like strawberries and that are berries, and then you've got legumes, and you've got
Wait, no fruit is a legume. Like,
no, but I'm saying you've got categories of fruit.
Okay.
I'm not saying legumes are fruits; they're kind of nuts and things, aren't they?
No, beans.
Beans. But yeah, fruits are again a generic term. I'm justified. PX Wodehouse has said he's a gardener in his day job, and I am correct. So thank you.
That's interesting.
But I think fruits are the same. Fruits are just a generic term, because like everyone knows that tomatoes not a vegetable. It's a type of fruit. But again, a fruit is something that has something to do with seeds being on the inside or the outside, or a berry has the seeds on the outside, and whatever.
I don't know. It's
we might be going too deep into this.
I mean, we were doing pretty well. Like, we got 2.5 hours of solid whiskey chat before it moved on to turnips. So I think that's pretty good for our standards, to be honest. And like everyone's really into the veg chat now. That's awesome. I love it. People just run to the subject.
So,
Ali's thinking, what is going on here? You're absolutely right, man.
So, Ali, one question you've probably never been asked in a whiskey chat: what's your favourite vegetable?
I like you're giving it thought as well.
I know I'm going to have to go with Cat's one and come back on this. There's what would you go? No.
I don't know if I've got a favourite vegetable.
No. Beetroot, underrated.
Genuinely wasn't a serious
question. Beetroot is awesome though. I love a gherkin too. Oh my gosh. Gherkins are just like, I'd eat a lot of gherkins. Although that's a cucumber, right? So
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, we're back onto vegetables again.
But yeah. Ali, the picture behind you, was that a commission or was that a gift? Or
It was, so it's I mean, it was a gift, but it's a guy, Pierre, who we've started doing quite a lot of work with. So we met him through the Scottish National Whisky Festival, and he'd worked with the festival guys for a while, and I'd always wanted to make whisky festivals more engaging, more interactive. So he would do like live painting and get people throwing paint at the canvas, throwing whiskey at the canvas, doing lots of things. Really energetic, talented, cool guy. So he got in touch with us and said for one of the Scottish National Whisky Festivals, he wanted to focus on Turntable, and could he do this for us? And we were absolutely like, we'd love that. And just from there, we've started working with him a lot more. So he's become a brand ambassador for Turntable, and he's based in Austria, speaks French, German, so doing some ambassadorial work for us on the brand out in France, and doing some tastings and stuff, and coming to some of the festivals with us. But yeah, very, very cool, talented guy. So
I met him. He comes to the National Festival in Aberdeen because he's a big Glengarry fan, or he says he is, but like he's
no, I know he will be. No, I'm sure he will be. He's a big whisky lover. I'm sure he'll be a big Glengarry lover.
Yeah, a really nice guy. And like, yeah, he just like literally stood there with his canvas, like in the foyer, kind of just creating these masterpieces while everyone's kind of mingling around. But that's really cool that it's his artwork.
Yeah, for sure. My sister Lindsay, she's a teacher, but she does some of the social media and marketing stuff for us. So she said on calls like this, she was tired of me not being on brand and just a blank wall and things behind. So she said, I think she actually had the painting in the house after the festival and said, would you please hang this and put it somewhere? So yes, I would be delighted to. So there you go.
That's excellent. I was just trying to look up his Instagram if anybody's interested. I think it's like, I don't know how to pronounce it, but Fate Maze. Fate Maze, yeah.
Yeah, so FAIT dash, what was it, MAIZ?
Yeah.
MAIZ, yeah.
But no, he's definitely worth looking up because he's done some awesome bottles.
Yeah, I know. He's really talented, really cool guy. So we're out in a couple of weeks doing the Whisky Festival in Lyon together. So my French is non-existent, so I'll be relying heavily on him.
Right. Yeah. So do you go abroad a lot for festivals? Have you got like a favourite sort of international festival that you like to go to?
Yeah, I mean, international is a big part for us. So I would do more of the traveling than Gordon, but I think we're in 15 markets or so just now. So it's mainly Europe. So mainly Netherlands, Germany, France, Scandinavia, Switzerland, a couple of others. But I'm out in Japan in April, Japan and Hong Kong for a week, which is always great. Like I love going to Japan for like the whiskey world in Japan is so interesting, and the level of knowledge and passion and all the whiskey bars and things, it's just like it's really astounding. So love that. And I'm going to Canada for a week in May as well. So that'll be Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton for 4 or 5 days, and then home. So
that's fantastic. It looks like such a beautiful, interesting country. And Japanese people are so nice. Obviously, we're owned by a Japanese company. And whenever they come over, they're always so polite and respectful and interested and just so lovely.
It's funny how the different cultures around like different countries in Asia vary so much as well. Like the first time I arrived in Japan, like I was typical, like just looking like a lost tourist type thing, like trying to work out how to get from airport to Tokyo, so Narita to Tokyo, just trying to figure out signs. And like honestly, within minutes, somebody had stopped and was making sure I knew where I was going, went and bought me a ticket on the subway and insisted. And like honestly, it's so friendly, so helpful, like really, really nice culture.
Amazing. Maybe one day I'll get sent out there for work. You know, I'm on Japanese TV now, so potentially I'm a celebrity out there already and just waiting. My people are waiting for me. It looks very cool. Ian's asking if you've got any recommendations for Tokyo whiskey bars. Any recommendations for Tokyo whiskey bars?
Doing the Highlander challenge is always a cool one to try and do. So there is the Highlander in Tokyo, which is very cool. I'm trying to think of some of the others. This cask bar is really great. To be honest, I need to go through the deck of business cards and send some through. But to be honest, like you just won't go wrong. Like I think as well, it's not always the bigger ones that are the most impressive. Like it's the tiny snug bars where you only fit 4 people in, and there'll be 1,000 bottles on the back shelf, and the barman will know every single bottle, where every bottle is on the shelf, the story behind every one, and it's just like such an intimate setting. It's really cool, really like great place.
That sounds pretty cool. Mike is on mute. I don't know if he knows he's on mute or whether he's in the middle of something. He does know he's on mute. He's muting.
Yeah. Tony's just in prepping Brea Rose's milk for her nighttime feed, so the wee machine is buzzing away in the background. That's why I just
okay.
But it's finished now, so we're all good. And if you're interested, spoiler alert, if you're wanting to know the curling score for the Winter Olympics, Britain have just beaten Switzerland in the 9th end, 10th end decider to go through to gold medal. It's the only thing I've been watching on the Olympics is the curling.
I love the curling.
I love the curling. It's so intense.
Controversy over Canada cheating or something. I saw that clip, but I haven't seen it.
Bloody Canadians cheating. You tell them when you go over there, Ali. Yeah, I see you.
It's funny as well, because I would say they're also usually an unbelievably friendly bunch, like the most welcoming and friendly people in the world. And that clip that has gone viral is like the worst representation ever. Like,
I know. Brutal.
Like, weighty.
Yeah. That was so much fun.
Cracking match.
So it was a cracking match. I was so willing to sacrifice it to come and speak to you tonight, Ali. That's the dedication.
Appreciate it, mate. Appreciate it.
I was kind of hoping to get beat because I wasn't watching it, but they've won. So even that.
Well, at least you've got another important match to watch now.
Exactly. Watch a gold medal match now. I don't know. Is it Sweden and America in the other match?
Was it Billy Connolly that used to say Scottish people are good at curling because it's just like putting your bins out on an icy morning?
That's awesome.
Love it. Well, while I was muted, I was going to keep an eye on the chat. Rick has asked, which turntable releases do you sell at the shop? Currently, we have the 3 kind of core ranges: your Bittersweet, your
Smoking Wrath, Paradise Funk.
Yeah. Paradise Funk. We've got batch 7 and 5. And the other one was the Starward. We've got 2 bottles left of the Starward collaboration as well.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
We've got
the track 5 and 7 are both really cool as well. The track 5 is the only one that we've done at natural strength, so it's up at 59.1. It's quite cool in terms of, like, if you think of independent bottling versus blending, it is literally just a blend of those casks at natural strength, and you can see the exact breakdown. So I think it's a Tamdhu, Oloroso, Dalmonach and Manachmore bourbon, and then the grain is Girvan, 19 and 20 years old, and bourbon and Marsala is really cool one as well. So
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool. Springer G's asking how the new store's going. Yeah, it's we had a really good Christmas, a really good New Year. January was pretty pants. Not going to lie, about as soggy as Cat's pants were last week. With our no, it wasn't last week. It was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was 2 weeks ago. Built just a lot of it down to the weather, and it being January. But no, we've seen a good pickup this month. Seem to be heading in the right direction. It's just a big relief having everything under one roof. Logistically, the only thing that's gone down recently is my steps total. Instead of running back and forward between the bar and the shop. So.
Well, I don't know. I mean, when I was in last week, I did see you come in and out of every single door in the building while you're chasing people out your car park. So you were pretty busy.
Part of my daily routine is to make sure every door works.
It looks awesome, though. The shop looks really, really good.
I'm looking forward to seeing it tomorrow.
Yeah. No, that's cool. So yeah, this is your first of the Blether and Whisky Club starting.
Yes.
Tomorrow. Awesome.
First one. So yeah, we still have a good scalp of members. We just want to be able to offer people good whiskey, good prices. It's not part of the shop, but it is. It's about getting people into the bar and having a pint and kind of utilizing the bar space a little bit more. It's all about getting people into to drink whiskey and enjoy it, have a good night. We don't want it to be it. This is basically the idea. We go in, we pour some whiskey, we have a chat, and if it goes off tangent, then so be it. I don't want it to be a whiskey club where people sit and listen to Ali talk for an hour and a half, drink 5 whiskeys, and then buy a bottle and go home. We want people to talk about it and stay and meet friends and just have that real kind of.
It's so much more fun for me when the conversation's two-way as well, instead of just it's really nice if it's casual, informal, and back and forth. It's really good.
I mean, looking at the names of the people who are coming along who signed up to the club is we're going to have a good laugh as well. The good thing is we speed you to. Sorry,
7 o'clock tomorrow.
7:30.
7:30. Cool.
I really should know that, shouldn't I?
I will pop over and say hello because I'm there doing a gin tasting an hour earlier, so I'll come in and meet you in person, Ali.
Sounds great.
I'll bring you a turnip.
So
Not paying for it though.
A beetroot, please.
A beetroot. Okay, I'll bring you some beetroot.
Right. Dave is asking what can we expect. So Dave's going to be there. So come along, and this is what you can expect, Dave. But just turntable whiskey. I'll just pour myself another wee blend. 26. So blended Scotch whiskey distilled at a mix of distilleries from North Star. This was one of my top jams last year. I absolutely love it. I think it's so awesome. Good. I don't know if you tried it, Ali.
I haven't. No.
Again, it's available behind the bar, so
check it out. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think. I mean, I love what you're saying, Mike, on what people can expect, and just casual like this. So, I mean, I'd say from my side, we can just chat about whatever you want. We can go as geeky as you want on any of the whiskies, and then talk about music, talk about anything. So I think see where it goes.
We'll maybe put a soundtrack together, so have a playlist play. Who was it we were talking to? Kate, is it Katie who did the Brumar, the Five Arms?
That's right.
She did a whiskey train.
Venema, wasn't it, Katie? Venema?
Yeah. So she's a whiskey ambassador, and she did the whiskey experiences at Five Arms in Brumar. Awesome. And part of the training, she would sit people in. I'm going to ruin it for anyone going on the course now. I don't think she does it now. So, but you sit in and you do a tasting notes on a couple of whiskies, and then she would teach you all this stuff about whiskey. And in the afternoon, you do tasting notes on 3 more whiskies. But the next time you were doing it, the second time you were doing it, she'd have music playing in the background. And then afterwards, you discover it was the same 3 whiskies that you'd done at the start. And it was all about how your perception has changed and how you can change it with music in the background. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, really cool. Really cool.
Yeah. Well, because that's part of the whole synesthesia thing, isn't it? Because sometimes you do have a crossing over of senses, or one sense can sort of change or affect the other one. Color, and because some people hear music and color, don't they? That's like one part of synesthesia, and other people smell and color or think in color. So some people hear music like they associate colour to music. Like a lot of synesthesia is to do with seeing colour in music. I don't have that part.
Did we discuss that before? I know the smell in colour and taste in colour. I didn't really hear. How do you hear green?
Oh, we should have definitely been going into this before all the vegetable stuff. This
is far more interested in whether it eats or
So, but it's the same as, so I see numbers and letters in colour. So, I mean, if you can see numbers and letters in colour, then you can obviously hear in colour. If you can smell in colour, you can obviously hear in colour. Like, so it's like you hear music and you automatically, your brain associates that with a colour in the same way that I smell whiskey and the first thing I associate it with is a colour.
Yeah, so it's just, I can completely understand that. And Ian said it came up in the Mark what Blether. I remember talking synesthesia in terms of taste and smell. I don't remember the hearing in colour.
Yeah, it's just because all your senses are kind of connected. It just depends where the crossover happens. And like, writing in colour. So anything I write that I need to remember, I have to do it in blocks of colour because I associate different types of information. Like when I was studying like for school or university, one topic I would see as a colour. So like when I studied politics, so let's say I was doing like, I don't know, voting systems, it would be like, well, I know it's red because literally it's just the colours come into my head. So I'd have to write it all in red because voting systems are all red. So it's like, it's just a crossover of senses, I suppose. I don't know how it works, but it's strange. So there, synesthesia. But I didn't know that's what it was. I just thought, But now that I know what it is, it makes much more sense. It makes things a lot easier as well. But it just means you've got to buy a lot of coloured pens. It also means I get to use coloured pens as an adult. So
what happens? What happens if you don't have that pen and you write something down? Do you just like circle it and say this should be pink?
So no, I can write everything in a black pen, but my brain prefers it if I don't. And I will go back and underline things in the appropriate colour. But yeah, I don't know. My brain just prefers if it sees things in colour. That makes sense. I know, it's a weird one, isn't it?
No, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
You guys, I think I'm probably going to need to drop off.
Yes, I thought we were winding down until the synesthesia and the curling.
Yeah.
And open up a few more topics.
Get the highlights of the curling on.
Yeah.
Well, you've got to drive up the road tomorrow, presumably, if you're coming up for a Blether. So
no, I'm not too far away. I'm in Mary Cooter now, so I'm
all right.
Easy.
That's fair days.
Yeah. He's going to be here till midnight, Kat. Don't worry.
It was great chatting to you guys, but looking forward to seeing you both tomorrow as well.
Yeah, I'll try and go see.
And we've been told it's 7 o'clock tomorrow, so I hope
7 o'clock. I'm glad somebody knows.
David knows what's happening.
It's been great having you on, Alex. Thank you so much. We'll catch up tomorrow. 7 o'clock. If you want to turn up, maybe half an hour. We'll have all the tables and glasses.
Yeah, I'll be there 6:30. Yeah, that's perfect.
Bang on.
Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, guys. And thanks for everybody in the chat. Great speaking to you.
Catch you later.
We'll let you go. Kat, if you stick around, we'll talk about next week.
Bye.
Good night.
I'm just trying to find who we've got next week. I've got it written down. Hang on.
Look, did you notice I was writing things down? I had my book.
Is that because I made fun of you last week for not having your book?
Well, there's two things. One, you'll notice it's a new book.
You've lost the other book, right?
It's not a new book. It's a different book. Yes, because I lost it.
I told you I knew fine this was going to happen.
So I have a book, but it's different. And so, how cool is this pen? This is a pen I got made for opening the Foghouse.
That's really cool. Is that a local person that does that?
Yeah. A guy called Joe who made our cages in the bar as well. He does wood turning.
That's really nice. Awesome. So next week we have got Vicky Elliott. So Vicky Elliott, she was with Ian MacLeod Distillers, and she also has been a guest host on Ross's
Whisky Talks?
Whisky Talks. Yes. So I met her a couple of years ago at a travel and tourism conference, I think. I know I've met her somewhere, or maybe it was Fife Whisky. I've met her somewhere. So
we've got a week to research her, so we know who she is when she turns up. So.
Yes, I mean I do know who she is. I don't think she's with Ian McLeod Distillers anymore. But we'll find out what she's up to when we get her on next week. And yeah, watch back some of the old episodes of Whisky Stories podcast, and you'll see her doing that as well.
Awesome. I will do that. Before Ian goes, he is asking crunch decision: Glengarry 12 or Founders Reserve. He needs to spend some points at the Inverurie Whisky Shop website. So this is crucial to everyone. This is Glengarry, this is the Blether, this is the shop, this is Ian.
It's a tie-in of everything. So I would say 12 every time, Ian. It's just one of my faves.
I'm a 12 fan. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Can't go wrong with that one. Yeah, give it a go.
And Rick is backing us up with a 12. He's also asking, what colour is next week's guest written in?
Oh, that's a really good question. I don't see every word in colour. It's like certain words and numbers. I don't have an answer for that one. I'm not seeing it in a colour, but let's say yellow.
Random yellow. Okay. Yeah. Guys, it's been such a blast. It feels like a proper Blether we've had tonight.
It's been good.
2-hour mark, random conversations, great whiskey, great geekery as well. We've managed to delve into a couple of rabbit holes.
I need to get a bottle of Turntable. I was really impressed. I mean, I remember it from the shop anyway, from when I was working with you a bit more. But just reading about the different compositions and hearing Ali talking, yeah, I need to get myself a bottle. Some of them sound absolutely gorgeous when I was reading them. So I will peruse your shelves when I'm in on Friday. Oh, tomorrow. Oh my God, yes.
So close. Yeah, guys, and we didn't even touch on it tonight, but Ali had a great career, 10 years working under Billy at Benriach, Glendronach and Glenallachie as well. So we talk a lot more about that in Ali's last chat with us. So on our YouTube channel, week back to May last year, and you can see that if you want a bit more about what it's like working under Billy Walker, his blending kind of career, because there's a couple of times I wanted to ask him about that, but we got distracted by other topics, and it was more like, being a blender. I think it really worked for him coming through to Turntable as a blending, because that's where he made his name. Okay, it was blending single malts, but still blending. Rather than being a single cask kind of guy, I think,
I think for the guys that are coming into the Blether and Whisky Club tomorrow, maybe they'll get a chance to hear a little bit more about Ali's story, and maybe ask him some questions, because he seemed pretty open to that. So get your questions ready for him.
Good fun. Great. Guys, absolute pleasure. I might hit you up on Aquavitae. I think we're talking about new distilleries, or inaugural distilleries in the Barflies in 5 minutes. So I might see you there.
Awesome. I'll see you all next week.
Good night. Cheers.
Bye.